Hey guys, welcome back. This is gonna be a video about why I've decided to buy iPhone 8 Plus instead of the recently new iPhone. And I'm also not sure whether it's a good thing or a bad thing because with a lot of rumors that they're gonna also make refresh looks like an iPhone X type of phone. And yeah, um, and looking at the phone itself, it does not seems like there is a really uh, how to call it good things. And I realized that I'm trying not to overspend some of my money because sometimes I like Apple product because they are just well built, although I'm not sure if I like their way of doing things, but it's just it's a good product regardless of what people feel or say. And then I decided to buy iPhone 8 Plus in 2000, I think late 2019, if I remember it well. It's like before all the rumor about the refresh of this iPhone iPhone type, and then looking at what's available, I think about the price itself. I think this is the entry level, but yeah, the display 5.5 seems like a really big deal. iPhone 5 with the second generation of the fingerprint as well, and it's quite nice. It's quite small, and then changing to this iPhone 8 Plus is really a big difference, and I liked it so far. And looking at the spec itself, it's reasonably well spec in comparison with the other newer iPhone. And then regarding the battery life, I was surprised that's actually really good. And yeah, and then regarding the memory capacity, here is also one other thing that I was like, I think I I knew that they try to push people to buy a more expensive phone, and the way that they do that is that they discontinue this 12 gigabyte of an iPhone for iPhone 8 Plus, which is really you know like if you could call it like corporate move to be able to push people to buy newer iPhone. Because can you imagine? I think with the number of camera that you with number of picture that you take, it's actually 128 maybe reasonable. And yeah, and you really want to have the bigger capacity as much as possible. Regarding the display size, because I think this is also what I just the screen size is actually 1080p, which is quite nice. Although some other spec about the contrast and the others seems like, yeah, okay, it's more brighter, more yeah, more contrast ratio, sure. And then I actually do like 3D touch for the iPhone 8. And then regarding the weight, it's also yeah, it's relatively heavier compared from iPhone 5 itself, 5S, I believe. And then yeah, a little bit splash and water resistant stuff. And the chip itself, A11 Bionic chip. Sure, there's also sufficiently enough video recording, 4K 60 seconds. That's nice. That should be sufficient for me. And all the other things that I believe is just maturity was gimmick. One other thing that I like the most is actually Touch ID. I do not like the Face ID because I just don't want them to use my face for authentication. And as I like to have it on Touch ID. This is main reason why I want to buy iPhone. I bought an iPhone 8 Plus basically. And then yeah, and And the battery itself, you see here, I think 14 up to 14 for 14 hours playback. I'm not sure it's 14 hour, I couldn't recall, but at least it's significantly better compared with 5 for sure. And yeah, wireless charging also there as well, so it's sufficient there. And headphone, this is also kind of like, oh man, I wish they have still have 33.5 millimeter headphone jack, but well, this day everything is now wireless for a headphone, so I have to also slowly to adjust to it as well. And also here, one of the reason is that iPhone 8 Plus for 2019. This is also kind of one of the reason why I decided to still buy the iPhone 8 Plus. If you see that the number of iPhone that still supported, iPhone 8 Plus still supported, and then only recently they discontinue for iPhone. Let me see here, iPhone. No, I cannot see it here. iPhone 8 Plus, and oh here, yeah, they recently discontinue iPhone 8 Plus here. With 256 gigabyte of a memory capacity, and I was lucky enough. I was able to still buy them, and I get it them, and because with 250 256 gigabyte of data, it's sufficient. I think it's gonna last me about 5 years as well. And then compare when I think I bought it around $700 or $800, which means it's divided by 5. Then it's a relatively cheaper best value phone, if you could call it that way. And then also the performance. I think since the iPhone Bionic chip from A11, you can see the multi-core performance is actually take a jump almost twice. This is kind of like my reasoning as well, that I say, okay, this is like the first jump that I could see, like at least you have hardware that capable of this speed. And then after that, it was just a minor jump, if you could live, if you go that way. Although here, if if from iPhone for iPad, if you look to the iPad, then it's also significantly faster chip. I expect that newer iPhone could use the same kind of Apple A12X Bionic as well. That might be that you want to buy that particular phone instead of iPhone A11 Max. But yeah, the downside for me is I don't like the Face ID login mechanism, and yeah. And then also looking at the single core performance, I think iPhone 8 Plus still, although yeah, I would love to have it on this level, but yeah, I think this score should be 924 is sufficient for me at least. And then yeah, I don't need that fast of a phone. So I guess that's it, guys. That's one of the reason why I decided to several reasons why I decided to still buy the iPhone 8 Plus. So thank you for watching, and then see you next time.